This video is about sprouts. It is wintertime, it's January, and I can't really grow any vegetables outside right now, but we can grow some sprouts. And anybody can grow sprouts, even if you're in an apartment, a condo, it doesn't matter. It takes very little space and no light. So I'm going to show you how to get those started. It's super easy, and even for beginners like me. I have 3 different kinds of seeds here. Apologies for the lighting. I have broccoli sprouting seeds, mixed salad mix with 5 different kinds of seeds, and amaranth grain. And then I have this sprouting jar, which is just a mason jar with a mesh lid on top that is really great for growing the sprouts, and this little tool, which I'll show you how to use. But I got these from True Leaf Market, and they have a subsidiary called Handy Pantry, and so far I've been really pleased with what I've gotten there. So today we're going to do the broccoli sprouts. So the instructions are printed right on the package. You take 2 tablespoons of seeds, soak them for 6 to 8 hours, rinse and drain, and so we're going to do that step by step. So I just took 2 tablespoons of these sprouting seeds, and by the way, that was on the package how many servings were recommended. And my recommendation to you is don't go over the amount that's on the packaging, because these things really expand and you don't want them all crowded in there. So even though you might think 2 tablespoons, that's not enough, stick with that. So I'm going to just add some distilled water. You could use regular tap water, but we have a distiller, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And let these seeds soak. And the packaging, the instructions say to soak initially for 6 to 8 hours. That does vary by seed type. Some seeds have a harder coat and need a little bit more time, and some less. So now I'm going to just put this in a dark, cool place, or dark place. Everything's cool right now, and it is dark in here. This is my laundry room, and let that soak and for 6 to 8 hours according to the instructions, and then we'll catch up with you on the next step. Okay, I have now soaked these seeds for several hours, and I'm going to drain the water. And this little mesh screen keeps the seeds from coming out. Gonna rinse it, drain again, and it's as simple as that. And try to get as much water out as possible, because you don't want them to sit in water. You just want them to stay moist and clean. And so now we have this tool that comes with the mesh screen and the jar, and it helps hold. Hang on. It helps hold the jar in place in this position. So that helps the water drain out. See, it's draining out right now and not stay in there. But one thing I need to do that I haven't done yet is kind of spread the seeds around in the jar so they're kind of like evenly distributed as much as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It works anyway, but it works better the more evenly they're distributed. And you want them in a dark place, not a place with light. So this room's perfect. Doesn't have any windows. It's near the kitchen. It's my laundry room, so I can kind of keep an eye on it. And so this is the end of day 1, and we'll check in on day 2. Now we're at day 2, and you usually can't see much activity this early in the sprouting process, but you can actually see, because these are darker seeds, you can see some have split their seed coat already, and you can even see some little signs of early sprouting if you look very closely. But by and large, it's still early in the sprouting process. So we're just going to keep rinsing these. And I do this 3 times a day. I try to do it first thing in the morning, before I go to bed at night, and somewhere in the middle, just to kind of keep it kind of spread out over time, and keep that water emptied on your little saucer or whatever you use for drainage. Also, so that doesn't get moldy or full of bacteria or anything like that. I'm a nurse, so but basically you just want to kind of keep these spread out and moist and clean, and we'll keep looking at them every day with you. It's day 3, and you can see some of the seeds are sprouting now. I've got little white tails on the seeds, and so things are coming along. Don't forget to empty your water. I like to empty that drain off from the water jar. It continues to drain out of that little mesh top after you rinse it 3 times a day. It's day 4, and the sprouts are coming along well. You can see a lot of activity in here now with lots of sprouting, but they are not ready yet. And you can tell that because the jar isn't nearly full. And what will happen probably tomorrow sometime, or maybe tonight, is that all of a sudden it'll go poof, and there'll be a whole bunch of volume in there. So stay tuned. All right, so here are our sprouts from the jar. We started out with 2 tablespoons of sprouts, and I would say right now we have about 1.5 cups of sprouts. So the next thing I'm going to do is rinse them and try to get out as many of these little seed holes as possible before these are ready to eat. So I decided to put the sprouts in a bigger bowl to make the next step a little easier, and that is I'm going to use this wire mesh strainer I've been using it to get some of the spent seeds out of the bowl. And having a larger bowl with more water, it just allowed them to float up to the top and not get in the way, not have the sprouts get in the way. So this is the last step, and then you can drain these sprouts. Again, a wire mesh strainer is probably a good way to go on that. I'll have a larger one for that. And then you can store these in the refrigerator for about a week, and they stay good. Put them in the vegetable drawer. You might want to put a little moist paper towel in with them to keep them moist and fresh. Possibly, use containers that will be good for storing something like this. This is a great way to get some extra nutrition quickly and easily. Anyone can do it, and they are tasty, I think. They don't have a ton of flavor, but they're good on sandwiches, salads, certain types of soup, yogurt, etc. So I hope you enjoyed this and learned something from it, and we'll talk to you again soon.